Hi everyone, I am Nawashek and today I will explain the AWS S3 bucket service in the easiest way. No confusion, no difficult, only simple examples and step-by-step learning. First, we will learn the theory and then we will do the full practical in the AWS console. So let's start. First, we need to know what is S3 service. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service and it's cloud-based object storage service. Cloud-based means the data is stored on Amazon servers, not on your personal computer. And object storage means S3 saves your files as objects, not as a traditional files and folders. And S3 has no storage limit. You can store 1 GB, 1 terabyte, 1 petabyte, or even unlimited petabytes. Whatever amount of data you have, S3 can store it. It never says storage full. We can store large size files like logs, backups, images, videos, documents, VM snapshots, and etc. Your data keeps growing, but you never have to increase disk size or buy a new storage because S3 is providing you unlimited storage service. And then AWS has 11 nines durability. What does 11 nines durability mean? Durability means your data will not get lost or corrupted. 11 nines durability means extremely safe. And do you know what Amazon claims? If you store 1 crore files, you may lose one file every 10,000 years. So think how it is safe. And why it's so safe? Because Amazon stores multiple copies of your data across multiple facilities or data centers. Even if one AWS building catches fire or crashes, your data is still safe and accessible from anywhere. You can access the files from office, from home, from mobile, and even from any country. So, in simple word, S3 service is scalable, highly available, secure, and cost-effective cloud-based object storage service. And it stores unlimited data by provide strong durability and it can be accessible from anywhere. Now, let's see why S3 is used. So, it's used for backup and restore, static website hosting, log storage, and disaster recovery. We will see each point in detail. S3 stores backup of databases, application configurations, logs, documents, snapshots, etc. Because if your main server crashes or disk failure or accidentally delete files, then you can restore data from S3 anytime. In simple words, we can say S3 keeps a safe copy of your data so you can recover it whenever needed. And then a static website hosting means in simple words you can run a complete HTML website from S3 without needing a server. And then log storage means like logs of applications, servers, VPC flow, cloud trial, and ELB logs are commonly stored in S3 for monitoring, auditing, and analysis purpose. And in disaster recovery, S3 supports cross-region replications and backups, enabling organizations to quickly recover data during outages or disasters. So, for this kind of things, we use S3 service. Let's see what is versioning. Versioning means S3 keeps all versions of a file. Example, if you upload abc.txt file for 5 times, S3 keeps all 5 versions. And why versioning is useful? Let's say if you delete file accidentally, then you can recover it. And it also protect from overwriting issues and help to recover previous files and also essential for backups. In simple word, S3 saves every old copy of your file so you can restore anything anytime. Let's see storage classes in S3 service. There is a different storage class in S3 service and cost effectiveness is totally depend on the storage classes. So first is S3 standard. This storage used for data you need very often or we can say data you need every time. It gives very fast access, means within 1 to 15 seconds, and also gives very high safety and durability. And then S3 standard IA. IA stands for infrequent access. This storage use for data that you do not use daily but still need quickly when you require it. It will take 3 to 5 minutes to access or retrieve data. So it is cheaper than S3 standard. And then one zone IA. This storage class is same as above standard IA, but data is stored in only one availability zone. This makes it cheaper but less safe, because if that zone fails, you cannot able to access that data. And then Glacier. This is very cheap storage for data that you want to keep for a long time, but it takes minute to hour, like between 12 to 48 hours to download the data. And then S3 Glacier Deep Archive. This is the cheapest storage in S3. This storage we use for data that which you almost never need, because downloading that data can take up to 12 to 15 hours. And then intelligent tiering. This S3 storage automatically moves your data to the best storage class based on how often you use it. This helps you save money without doing anything manually. And then S3 lifecycle management. As we seen in S3, data can auto move to cheaper tiers, so can automatically shift your files to lower cost storage when they are not used often. And S3 can automatically remove old files after a certain number of days. This helps keep storage clean, because files are moved to cheaper storage or deleted automatically. You save money on S3 bills. Now let's see the encryption option. What is encryption? Encryption means covering your data into unreadable format so no one can misuse it. And there is a type of S3 encryption. First one is SSE S3. In this, Amazon manage the key and it's easy to use. Second one is SSE KMS. It uses AWS key management service, and we manage the keys, so it's best for sensitive data. After that, in SSEC, you provide your own key, and there is another client side encryption, which is client encrypt before uploading. In simple word, S3 can lock your data with a strong encryption, so no one can read it without permission. Now that we have completed the theory part of Amazon S3, let's move to the practical demonstration and see how everything works inside AWS S3. So first I will log in into my AWS account. Now I have logged in into my AWS account, and in the search bar at the top I will type S3 and click on S3 service. Let's start with creating bucket as we discussed in the PPT. A bucket is the storage where we store our objects. So I will click on create bucket. Then, so as discussed, bucket names must be globally unique. So I will use something like my S3 bucket demo. Then you guys can see that I have already chosen the region. So you can also choose from here, or you can also change from here where you want to create your bucket. For that, I will keep the default setting for object ownership, and we will keep the block public access settings on for now, which is the recommended setting for security. Then the by default versioning of bucket is disabled, so I will keep it as a default. Then the other things also I will keep as a default. And then I will click on create bucket, but I got error while creating the bucket and it's saying bucket with the same name already exists. So you guys can see that I have already mentioned globally we must have to use a unique name for our bucket. So I will edit my bucket name and I will just enter 123 after bucket just for the demo purpose, and then I will click on create bucket. And then you guys can see that our S3 bucket is successfully created. Now if we want to upload something into our bucket, then we can just click on our bucket and then just click on upload, click on add files, and then I will select a file. I will click on upload, and then you can see guys the file has been uploaded successfully. In S3 terminology, this file is called an object. So now we have a bucket and object inside it. So go to the bucket. Next, let's enable versioning, which we discussed earlier in the PPT. Versioning helps protect our data from accidental deletions and overrides. To enable versioning, go to the properties, then here you can see bucket versioning, then click on edit, then click on enable, and then click on save changes. Now you can see we have successfully enabled the versioning for our bucket. So let me upload the same file again. We have successfully uploaded our file. I will check. I will enable show versioning, and you guys can see multiple versions of the same object. This is how S3 maintain object history. Next, let's see storage classes in S3. In S3, we have various storage classes based on how frequently we access the data. We explained all storage classes in the PPT like standard, standard IA, one zone IA, and glacier. Let me show you how to change the storage class. So select a object, actions, go to the edit storage class, and then from here you can change the storage class. Let's say I will keep standard IA, and then I will click on save changes. That's how you can change the storage class of your object. And this is very useful when you want to reduce cost for infrequently accessed files. And in our PPT, we also have seen the lifecycle rule. Lifecycle rule help automate transition between storage class or delete old objects after a specific number of days. So let's create a lifecycle rule. So click on management, then you can see here the lifecycle rule, then create lifecycle rule, then give the name that I will provide name here, move to IA after 30 days. And then I will apply it to all object in the bucket. I acknowledge it. After that, I want to delete that files which are not current version, and I will delete that file after 30 days. And then I want to keep the last three version. Then I will click on create rule, and the rule has been successfully created. That's how can we create the rule. So This rule will automatically reduce cost by moving older data to a cheaper storage classes. And you also can disable that rule from here. Click on action and then click on disable, and it will disable the rule. If you want to delete it permanently, then select it, click on delete, so it will get permanently deleted. Next, let's see how to host our first static website in S3 bucket. So go to bucket, and then go to the properties, then scroll down, then you can see static website hosting, then click on edit, click on enable, host a static website, keep it as default, then give the name index.html. Now we have hosted our static website, but we are unable to access that website unless the bucket objects are public. So go to the permissions. Here you can see the block public access, this on state. So I will uncheck this box and will provide public access to my S3 bucket. I will confirm here and then go to the bucket policy, click on edit. I have to add a statement here in JSON format that we are allowing access to the public to our S3 service. So I will click on add new statement. Here you can edit your JSON format, but I already have a statement in JSON format, so I will just copy from my notepad. I will paste here. I will just simply edit my bucket name. You can copy your bucket name from here, bucket ARN, and will paste here. Then click on save changes. Now we guys have successfully allowed public access to our S3 service. And if you want to access your website, then just go to properties, then guys make sure that your file name is index.html, because as it is a case sensitive, then click on properties, scroll down, go to the static website hosting, and then you can see here bucket website endpoint. So just click on URL. Now guys, boom, you can see your first static website has been hosted on S3 bucket. As S3 is a best option to host static websites, so you guys can host your static website on S3 service. Now we will see. Till now we have seen how to upload file and how to host our website. Now we will see how to delete our file. So just go to bucket, select our file, and then click on delete and confirm here that you are deleting this file or object, and click on delete object. And now you can see you have successfully deleted that object. So in this practical session, we covered creating and deleting a bucket, uploading and deleting object, enabling, versioning, changing storage class, and understand permissions. These are the same topics we discussed in the PPT, and now you have seen how they work in the real AWS. Make sure to like the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to support the channel and drop a comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.